Hi, everyone. I was so looking forward to seeing each and every one of you tonight and seeing you in the Windy City. I can tell you that the only thing as a passionate cancer advocate and survivor that would keep me from an event as amazing as this would be cancer. And those are the words I heard now for a third time as I got ready to board the plane to see all of you. But I feel that my message and the work that Jenna is doing with Brushes with Cancer is so important that I wanted to record my speech to share with each and every one of you so we can save more lives. My message and my story is twofold. It's about preparation, something I learned through my journey, and the emotional toll I still face that Jenna is really highlighting with her nonprofit. As an Emmy award-winning journalist, a fitness and health reporter, my entire career thrived off, and the success of it, off of preparation. I got my big break on the air at CNN at the age of 20 because I prepared. I successfully moderated debates because I prepared. I broke big stories after researching for weeks for in-depth reports because I prepared. During breaking news, I thrived off of preparing for the unexpected. As an on-air health coach, fitness and medical reporter, I helped everyone else get prepared. My MO was preparation. But in January of 2014, it was tough to prepare what would come next. I went from living the life with an incredible career to fighting for my life, from telling everybody's story to becoming the story. After hearing the words, "You have cancer, leukemia, a blood cancer, and there is no official cure." I remember the day like it was yesterday, twice misdiagnosed earlier in the year for just being overworked, too busy, and tired. A fertility doctor tells me in the midst of a treatment to have a second baby, "You can't have a baby, you have cancer." And he said the words, 25% chance of survival. I knew the odds were against me. I wasn't sure if anyone or anything could prepare me for that moment. That day or that entire year I would spend hospitalized, separated from my then 2-year-old son. But in the midst of the screaming and the chaos and the denial, I couldn't wrap my head around the diagnosis and what to do next. How, as a medical reporter, did I miss my own body's cry for help? How did I miss that in all my years of reporting? Between contacts and social media, I had a call from Johns Hopkins, the chief oncologist, saying, "Say goodbye to your son, hand over guardianship to your mom. We have a bed waiting for you. Get on a plane. You don't have time to waste." I said goodbye to my son, and I still have nightmares and the emotional toll of saying goodbye to him and walking away on that jetway as he screamed, "Mommy, Mommy," as I knew I had to fight for my life. And then 70 days into that 1-year separation, they let me see him, and he walked past me like we never met. Despite the chaos, I still expected a quick miracle because I thought I was invincible, like many of us tend to think. Second, as a reporter and anchor for more than 20 years, I had covered stories about revolutionary treatments and breakthroughs in the medical field and assumed they would just go in there and wipe it out, and poof, I would be back in my son's arms. Boy, was I wrong. And that's when they said, "We're going to need you for the entire year, and all we have to treat you is chemo we've used for 40 years, the same thing we would have used on your grandfather. Toxic chemo that I've since learned, if it doesn't kill you, will leave you broken." What was I going to say to viewers, I would say, to help them avoid the very cancer I was trying to help them avoid? Did I mislead them? And that's where my oncologist said no. He said, "It's not that bad things won't happen to you, but the genius is about armoring up is what you do each day, what you eat, how much you sleep, how much exercise you get, how much stress and toxicity you allow in your life, all determines how well you present to your medical team when life punches you in the face. Because we can't kill you trying to save you. Your dose is directly related to your fitness level." And it was that moment that the light bulb went off. And I realized that this story was much bigger than me. And that I did prepare. My entire career I'd been preparing for that moment. Your fitness level is directly related to your dose. That was my breaking news. And since that day, 5 years ago, I have been shouting that from the mountaintops to save lives. My message never should have been only about prevention, but rather preparation and prehabilitation. because it's not a matter of if something's going to happen to you, it's a matter of when. And we need to all learn the 3 Ps. Prepare, present, prevail. You must prepare yourself for illness so you can present well to your medical team and position yourself to prevail. And I did prevail. I am one of the lucky ones to survive that type of leukemia. 5 rounds of intense antiquated chemo that spanned an entire year, followed by a bone marrow transplant, only to be told on my 5th anniversary those words again: you have cancer, this time breast cancer. And I share with you how hard it is for me to explain this, but this is what Jenna is doing with Brushes with Cancer, really putting the spotlight on the emotional toll and telling it through art, because I say even when you win, you lose. Look at the artwork around, you will see the pain, the suffering, the loss, and the triumph of the cancer journey all wrapped into one. Yes, I am blessed with a second chance of life. Preparation worked for me on so many levels. It saved my body, and I advocate for that each and every day. But the topic often overlooked that is really told through art is the emotional toll, the collateral damage that's left behind from cancer, both mentally and physically. We are often left in a mind and body we barely recognize. It's not just my hair, my independence, my career, emotional toll and scars that it leaves behind. Every second of every day, I struggle with cancer-related PTSD. I lost the baby I never had, a year with my then 2-year-old son, my marriage emotionally and romantically as my husband had to shift to caregiver, my DNA, my identity, my sense of self. But I gained new perspective as I repurposed myself through so many tears and depression to find my new purpose, to advocate for others and help save lives and have more a whole patient approach. And this is where Jenna, with her incredible nonprofit, Twist Out Cancer, through events like Brushes for Cancer, is doing so much for people like me and other survivors. The mental health aspect of this fight that we need to talk about, the psycho-oncology that few talk about, so beautifully told through art. And that's where all of these amazing artists are creating as they share the courageous journeys of survivors everywhere. We all have a different story, and cancer unites us. But we can't sit back and wait for the cancer patient approach to move more patient-centric to a whole patient approach. It is time that we fill the void for patients now and start by putting equal value to the mental and physical health. And one way to do it is with events like this. Brushes with Cancer allows our voices to be heard today. Thank you, everyone. And I hope to see you next year at next year's event with a wonderful story of survival. God bless.